I'm really happy to be here with you today. Just to take you back to 2010, when we put together the iHUB. I remember actually going to sign for the lease for the iHUB, and the intent 15 years ago was to bring people together. The intent was to bring innovators, to bring government, basically anybody and everybody who is interested in using technology to make a difference. That was the intent, to bring them together in one place so that they can get together, collaborate, and do what they needed to do, and also get the assistance that they needed. Of where we wanted the iHUB to be located. We wanted it to be located in a place where it's accessible with public transportation. So we didn't go to some of the leafier suburbs, which are a bit hard to get to with public transportation. So I mention this because there's a writer, I often quote him, his name is Kentaro Toyama. He talks about, he did some research for Microsoft in India, and the quote that I try never to forget is that technology amplifies human intent. And in a time when we are dealing with so much uncertainty, a lot of complexity, a lot of disruption, a lot of change, I think one of the things that I'm really grateful for is that from the founding then and now as part of CC Hub, and also with you all here, the intent remains the same, right? The intent around transforming people's lives using technology, that is something that we share in common. The how of it is varied from the innovation fellows, which Muihaki, I'd love to learn more about the IDEA work around the Government Innovation Fellows, and also all the work that IDEA is doing, and also the work that you are all doing in your own way. That is the how of making a difference and helping to make people's lives better. So our shared intent around making things better is part of the history of the iHUB, and I'm really happy to see that it continues to be part of the present. And with all of you in your work and the things that you're doing is continuing to push into the future, despite the difficulties in the not only funding environment, political environment, economic environment, lots of challenges. So just so there's that thought around technology amplifying human intent and the shared work that is before us. I will leave you with a thought from Jacqueline Novogratz, who is a founder of Acumen, and she wrote a book called Moral Imagination, which I think we need to look to people. Sometimes I think the quote is, not the quote, more like the guidance is, whenever there's a crisis or whenever things are a bit ambiguous or complex, look for the helpers, right? Look for the helpers, look for the people who are thinking about these things and doing the things despite the crisis. And I think at this particular time, the person that I'm looking to, in terms of just, when you have all these questions about, how are our societies changing? How are we going to get jobs for the next millions and millions of people, young people who are getting into the workforce, or like the age where they need jobs, or else, they get into things that are not really useful for our societies. And you struggle with all of these problems, and the helper that I look to is Jacqueline Novogratz. And she says that during these difficult times, it takes moral imagination to come up with creative solutions. Some of those solutions are entrepreneurial solutions. Some of those solutions may not necessarily have a business model at this time. However, some patient capital to try and help people to then figure out that solution is needed now more than ever. And I'm really glad to be in the room with not only helpers, but also people who have creative and moral imagination around how we can transform people's lives. I wish you the next couple of days where you can reconnect and also connect around that shared intent, because there's so much more work that is before all of us. And thank you very much for inviting me.